I'm going to talk about few issues to understand who is happy and who is not happy related to tourism. So as you can see, this is a study, a very deep one, but I will try to extract it to make it a bit lighter for you because we have gone so deep into that study. And we have tried to examine what are the factors that make people or local support tourism. Usually we know, if you're a tourism student, we know that we have got so many light studies about impacts of tourism on culture, on society, on the locals. Usually we do not like tourists to come to our place sometimes because we feel that they are coming to our environment, they are depleting the resources, they are taking our right. But this is a study which was conducted not in Mauritius, not in Nigeria, but in another place. It is a place in England, and it is, as you can see, it is a very deep study, and it has been conducted by 4 people from different places, which means that from Nigeria for myself, UK, Winchester, France, and Italy. We have tried to combine our expertise, but the main study was conducted in Winchester. So as you can see the title is Local Residents' Expression of Dissatisfaction with Tourism and Events. It's an empirical study. So I'm sure that you are aware about an empirical study. An empirical study, it's a study which is quite very, not really technical, but we try to do some kind of observation, and also we back it up with secondary data. Okay? So let's see what's coming now. So it was a very interesting study. It was taken place in Winchester. Winchester is a very small place in UK. And it's not like Hyderabad, of course. Hyderabad is too big. Winchester is very small. I don't have the exact size. And we have tried to investigate. We have tried to see how the locals relate to events. For example, in Hyderabad, we have got festivals that are being organized, that are being celebrated. The tourists, they come. There are certain festivals that are celebrated that maybe locals, they don't like tourists to get inside. For example, if you have got sacred festivals, Holi, I don't know Holi is a sacred festival, but I know there are certain kind of festivals which is really very, very private, and you don't want tourists to come inside that festival. You want them to see them from very far. So this is a kind of study that we conducted. We wanted to see whether the locals, they were happy about having tourists or they were not happy. So this is the key points of the study. The purpose was to identify what causes local residents' dissatisfaction with events and tourism. I just already talked about it. I'm going to skip the very first one because I've already elaborated on that. The methodology, as I told you, is quite complex, it's quite technical. Don't be scared. I'm going to explain to you. We based ourselves on conceptual framework, on contextual framework, and on the research framework. So contextual framework means the context. Where is that place? It was Winchester. Conceptual framework, it's about all the concepts related to tourism and event. And then the research framework means how we conducted the research. This is really very important. And we have contribution of this study. It contributes to the practitioners and also those people who are lecturing. So what we have tried to see is that these are the literature that has been reviewed. We realize that event and tourism has a very close link. It's really very important, especially this conference is about culture and tourism. When we talk about event might be a festival, it might be anything which has a cultural tie. And usually when we talk about cultural tourism, tourists are very interested to participate in events. Events might be national, regional, or of any type. As you can see here, this is the conceptual framework. Tourism event, it's a big thing, but you're going to see that we have various types of event, family, sport, cultural, whatever, and then size, it might be small, big, or very big. And finally, based on this framework, we realized that visitors should be part of the locals and their place of residence, which means that if visitors are coming to Hyderabad, they are traveling. For example, a tourist is coming to Hyderabad, and you as a Hyderabadi, you are not receiving them, you are trying to fool them, you are trying to make their life difficult. They will not be interested to come to you, and they will not contribute to your tourism because you're considering the visitors as alien. You know what is alien? Coming from the space. So this is something else. So it's very important. You have to accept the tourist. Now, the conceptual framework, this is a bit complex. Dialogical self. Let me explain. I'm not going to look at this. Not interesting. So when we talk about dialogical self, you as a person, you are somebody. Once upon a time, when you were having your grandmother, your grandfather, you were not having too many roles. So you were very focused on one thing. You had a specific role. Today, you have got so many roles. When you are at work, you are the lecturer. When you go back home, you are the mother. When you're on the street, you are a public. So finally, at the end of the day, when we are talking about tourism and the local has got so many roles. So during that particular moment when they are meeting the tourists, we call that dialogical self. What kind of a person I am? Do I want to help that tourist, or I want to stay away from that tourist, or I want to make his life difficult? So it's about the various roles and about our conception, about our perception of being the local. Now, this is very important, quality of life. These days, people are talking a lot about quality of life. They're talking about happiness. We have got happiness club. We have got laughing therapy club. I don't know what kind of club, because we want to be happy. But in this study, we want to say that just like studies long time ago has been showing to us that tourism industry is an industry which is really very dependent on the people, because people is going to develop tourism, and then tourism will help the economy. But here we are discussing, we are arguing, it is the other way around. In the 21st century, people are more interested with their happiness. I want to be happy. I don't want to have tourists coming to my place and disturbing me. I want to be able to continue being happy, but side by side, tourists, you can come, you can contribute to my economy. So this is what we are contesting. We are contesting previous studies. We are saying that no, it is the other way around. Happiness of local will make tourism grow. It's not about tourism will make the economy grow. It's the other way around. So what are the determinants of host community well-being? So if you want to be happy as a local and you want to be able to receive the tourists, social equity is very important. It's not that, for example, I'm working in the tourism industry, I'm not well paid. And I know that the tourist, when he's coming, he's paying lots of money. I give a simple example. We have got Oberoi Hotel in Mauritius. You have got somebody working as a housekeeper. Housekeeper is getting just 15,000 rupees, maybe, example, per month. Housekeeper is knowing that this guest has come to stay for only 2 days, and he's paying 15,000 rupees per night. Just imagine how many guests you are having per month. So at the end of the day, as a housekeeper, I would think I'm frustrated. So you have got guests paying that amount of money, and my salary is only 15,000 rupees. So this is a kind of thinking that goes into the mind of many people who are working in the tourism industry. That social equity has to be here. We have to be reasonable. We have to be practical. That's why people are running away from India, from other places, because they are not well paid. It's really very important for the government to focus on that. I feel that if you want to attract your people, you want to keep your asset, you should know how to pamper them, how to take care of them. Otherwise, they will run away. It's your asset. So I think that this is a very important thing. Cultural vitality is really very important. We need to continue be with our culture, maintain our culture, do not modify it. And then, of course, environmental sustainability. So what is happening down there? I've seen a lake. I was shocked when I came. It's a dirty lake. And I'm afraid because I think there's mud inside. So this is pollution going on. So environmental sustainability is very important. There are so many places, even in Hyderabad, in any other places, they are not taking care of the environment. And there's lots of garbage. This is not sign of community well-being, host community well-being. So we have got the third conceptual framework. It's about co-integration and causality. We are talking about, this is a one-way direction between poverty reduction, economic growth, and tourism development, which means that we should be able to integrate that tourism economy to improve the life of the people and not the other way around. It should not be that people become miserable, they are frustrated, they are not well paid. It should be the other way around. I what is happening? Ghost again? Like in film. So this is a bit quick facts about Winchester. It's a small city. It has got only 116,600. No. It's not about the it's about the population, and it has got unemployment rate very low because we do not have much people there. And this is a bit about how it looks. It's very clean. It's very green. It's different. It's like Europe anyway. The methodology, as you can see, we had a questionnaire, we have developed a questionnaire, and we did not have time. I told you that it was an empirical study. So we used Facebook, LinkedIn, we did the shortcut. LinkedIn, Facebook, Winchester newsletter. We tried to investigate and try to come up with questions to the locals. And we wanted to know about their point of view regarding tourists coming to their event. So we talked about opponent of tourism. People, have you ever heard about the term Trexit? I talked to the students. You know what is Trexit? It's a new term developed by ourselves, our team. Tourism exit. So you should not behave in such a way that tourists instead of coming to your place, they exit, they go to other place. We should not let this happen. We should continue attract tourists. We should continue let them come and taste our biryani and halim or whatever. So tourism exit, Trexit should not be here. And then there is something called Venice syndrome. I don't know if you know about it. Venice syndrome. Venice is a place, it's a tourism place, but because they developed that place, most of the locals, they left Venice, they went to stay to some other place. We are not happy. Are you going to be happy tomorrow after 20 years? You have to leave Hyderabad, this place, and you go to leave some other, because this is a tourism area, it's only for the tourists. This is not fair. So we have to be able to know how to develop tourism in such a way that there is social equity. We talked about social equity. It has to be fair, you know? And then Winchester as a resilient destination, we talked a bit about how the locals, they are resilient or not resilient, means that they are accepting or not accepting. We have got all the details in the table. These are the general findings. We realize at the end of the day, instead of reading all these, we realize at the end of the day that if you want to attract tourists, you should be able to pamper your locals. All the studies have talked about that anyway, but for ours it's a bit different. We are arguing that happiness of locals will lead to will lead you to get more tourists, and also side by side it helps to develop your economy. These are the tables and the figures. If somebody wants to have this, I can send it, of course. And here, as you can see, at the end of the day, we talk about destination management organization, and it's very important for them to give priority to foster local resident happiness. So Hyderabad people, if we try to translate this study to Hyderabad, the government should be able to make the local people happy in the tourism process. Then they are going to receive the tourists, then they are going to be interested, and they're going to participate. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. These are the overall observations. It's quite a long one, but it summarizes the same thing that I've just told you. And it's not working again. So this is how we conclude the study. We are claiming that the level of happiness of locals in Winchester or in any place of the world or in Hyderabad leads to satisfaction with events and tourism, and not the other way around. And also, obviously, logically speaking, there is a logic in that. If your locals are happy, they will contribute towards tourism, and they're going to be very supportive and receptive. And what else? Yeah, I think this is what I've already said. This is the tourism and locals relationship from a new gaze now. As you can see, these are very important things. And this is something which is based on what we have seen. Huh? So performing a successful destination formula, you have to take care of your local community first, because don't forget that when you're receiving a tourist, the tourists, they come to your own environment. It's just like you're having a kitchen, you're cooking your food every day, and somebody stranger come inside and just make some tea and just make the mess and go away. Will you be happy? No, because he has come in my own kitchen. He has taken my own tea, he has taken my own milk, and he made all the mess, and he went away without cleaning it. I'm not happy. So make as if Hyderabad is a kitchen, and the tourists are coming, they're doing the mess, and they're going. So it's not a good thing. So we have to educate the tourists also how to behave. It's not only about the locals, it's also about the tourists. It's a two-way traffic, you know. We should not always just blame the local, but the tourists also. We have to talk to them. So local community conditions is very important. Other stakeholder satisfaction, which means that if I'm investing money, just like the lady who was a travel agent, she's investing lots of money, she wants profitability. I'm not loving you that much, I'm going to give you all my money. No, everybody likes money. So when we are investing in tourism, we want profitability. We need prosperity of the local. And then at the end of the day, we want to sustain the industry. We don't want to start something and then we are not able to sustain it. We need to sustain. So profitability, prosperity, and sustainability is really very important, and all of these, they are dependent on how you're treating your local. So again, at the end of the day, I keep supporting the local. I say that the local people are really very important. They are the most important factor in the tourism process. And you are the locals. Yeah, I know it's finished. Thank you. Comments and suggestions are welcome.